welcome back to the channel. Today is a slightly different video because I am going to Tangled in Galashiels and I am staying overnight in Selkirk because that was the only hotel available within my budget. But yeah, so I am going down to Galashiels today. I'm going to go and see the Great Tapestry today, and then don't know how long I'm going to be in the Great Tapestry, but I'm going to go have a look around and wander the show. I have a ticket for both today and tomorrow, so yeah, it's going to be a nice couple of days. It is Friday, so the show runs Friday and Saturday instead of the usual Saturday, Sunday, and it's been very rainy this morning already, and it's that fine rain where there's a lot of it and you just get soaked straight through. Yeah, so I've just finished getting everything packed and ready to go. It is 10:30. I wanted to leave at 10, but I was so tired getting in yesterday because I went out for a meal with the lovely Knit and Natter groups from the We Crafty Owl in Greenock that I just decided that I was gonna try and stretch out my neck a little bit and then go to bed. So that's what I did. And yeah, so I've packed everything this morning. I had started like a little bit of packing yesterday, but not a great deal. I should have done it before I went out yesterday, but I was too busy doing other things. So I'm all packed. I'm ready to go. I have 2 boxes from my teaching job that I need to drop off at the DPD, which is our local golf petrol station. So I need to drop those 2 there, and they're both quite heavy. They're both quite large, so I'm going to have to go in one at a time. So they are waiting in the hallway for me to get them all in my car. So I've got 2 boxes to drop off, and then I'm going straight to Galashiels. And I've gone to make lunch for today and found that the bread has gone mouldy already, even though it was only bought a few days ago. So it hasn't been my week really, but I won't get into all of that here because it would just stress me out even more. So I've basically been waiting for emails with a document that I need to register to teach in Scotland, and the university and the college are basically going back and forth and I can't do anything about it. So yeah, I need to get going. So I'm going to take you along with me for the next 2 days and see what we get up to. So whilst I was in Galashiels, I thought I would go and have a look at the Great Tapestry of Scotland. It's not something I've been to before, and I've been to Galashiels a couple of times now, but there were so many panels, it was really difficult to decide which were my favourites, but I had a really good time. I spent pretty much all afternoon there, just walking around and really taking in all the detail. It's amazing how much texture and detail you can get in just embroidery stitches. So yeah, I thought I'd put together a little montage of some of my favourite panels and some of the close-ups that I got, because like I said, there was so much detail here, trying to capture it all was impossible, but I thought you might like some of these pictures. So yeah, enjoy this little montage. Now, before the day was over, I did manage to have a little walk around Galashiels and make my way over to the show, which was mainly held at the Volunteer Hall. You may have seen at the very beginning of this that I showed some pictures of what was available in the tapestry building itself. And I was there long enough to have a loop around the show and talk to a couple of stall holders. I also picked up a turtle shawl pin before P and I went off for dinner. We just went to the local Wetherspoons for dinner, and then I made my way to my hotel, which was in Selkirk. I stayed in a lovely little hotel called the Glen Guest House, which was an old building that had been converted into a hotel. And I had a really lovely chat with one of the owners when I got there, because I was wearing my crochet cardigan as always. We had a good chat about crochet and knitting and cross stitch, and she let me know that some of the rooms had some cross stitch up on show as well. But I thought I'd just do a little quick tour, show you some of the artwork that was in the stairwell, and how many details there were in this place as well. And yeah, there was even some cross stitch on the landing too, which was lovely to see. I think she said that she hasn't actually done them herself, and that other people have done them and gifted them to her, but it was just nice to see them on display. And yeah, so we're going to have a quick tour of my room. We have a lovely double bed. I was expecting a single, so this is really nice. It's a small double, but that's okay. There's a nice vanity area and a little seat to sit on. There's also tea and coffee making. and there was a menu for breakfast in the morning as well. You can see the view outside, so this was the main entrance underneath, and a little car park. It was lovely and green, and the amount of bird song that there was as well. There's also a spare cupboard that had like an ironing board in there, a little heater, airing rack. There may have been a hairdryer, but I didn't really check. And then there was a very small bathroom as well. So yeah, that was my little room for the evening, and it was very comfortable. So I was very happy with it. And as I said before, there's also some artwork on the wall. So yeah, that was my room for the night. Here are my purchases from the Great Tapestry, as well as what I picked up at the show very, very quickly.
So it's the end of Tangled in Galashiels, and I think I've done some damage. So I'll get home and I will show you everything that I have got from the last 2 days. I did spend most of yesterday in the tapestry though, so all can be forgiven. So I haven't really had 2 days of shopping, I've only had one. But yeah, it's been a good weekend. Well, it's not really the weekend, still got tomorrow. Because it's held over Friday and Saturday. So I am just about to head home. I'm all packed up, ready to go. It's going to take me about 2 hours to get home, and it has just started raining. So I'll see you all later. And I'm home. It is actually Monday. I pretty much did nothing on Sunday. Got home Saturday evening about 8 o'clock-ish after driving back from Galashiels, and I think I had dinner, laid down on the sofa, wasn't comfortable, and then went to bed. And I did not wake up until around 8 o'clock-ish on Sunday morning. And then I pretty much did nothing for the morning, and then I had an afternoon shift that I went to do for a couple of hours. And then got home, and now that's a lie. I did 2 rows on my blanket in the morning before I went out. And then I spent the evening trying to work on a new pattern. So details for that will follow shortly once that's all sorted out. But yeah, I thought I would jump on quickly and show you everything I got at Tangled this year for 2025 in Galashiels. I took one of my East Anglia bags because these are a nice big size, and that's what I filled up. So I actually spent all of Friday afternoon at the Great Tapestry of Scotland, and it was really, really inspiring. I absolutely loved it, and I need to go back because it's not something you can do in a few hours. There are 160 panels to view, and every single panel has like a plaque of information about that panel and a bit of the Scottish history as well. And I think I read all of the plaques for section 1 and 2. There are 7 sections. So I will definitely have to go back to continue reading on that. But you may have already seen some of the footage I got from the tapestry and from the show before this bit, hopefully, if I've put it in the right order. Yeah, so we're going to dive into what I picked up, because I did pick up some bits at the tapestry, but I think they're at the bottom of my bag. No, they're not. They're near the top. So I have a little blue bag of bits that I bought on the Friday. I bought one thing from the actual yarn show. The rest is from the tapestry itself. Now I picked up a tea towel of one of the tapestries that I really liked. It's only a part of it. It doesn't have the full tapestry. It just has the central section. But it was just so colourful that I thought I'd pick this one up. So it does say Great Tapestry. Yeah, I mean, look at all the different stitches in his turban. So we're going to put that in the wash and get that into use, I think. They don't get used like very often, my tea towels. Just every now and then, because we have a couple that are in regular use all the time. So yes, I picked that one up because that was one of the, I think they only had a couple of different designs for the tea towels and the postcards and magnets. I would have got a magnet, but they didn't have magnets of the panels that I liked, so I picked up a couple of postcards instead. So first up we have this one, which is panel number 105, which is the Paisley pattern. So I didn't mention this actually. They all have, even the tea towel has information on the back of the label that tells you what panel it is. So it's panel 92, Scots in India is that one. So yes, I then have panel 105, which is Paisley pattern, and as I live near Paisley, I thought that'd be quite nice. And then this one is panel number 116, Charles Rennie Mackintosh. So this is for his Glasgow School of Art, and my husband works for Glasgow School of Art, so I thought that would be quite a nice one to add to our collection as well. So I had a very nice time at the tapestry. I also bought a little tartan rose because I thought it was really pretty, and that is going to sit on my coat. So it's purples. It's very nice. So it's just a brooch, so it will sit on one of my coats, I think. So I quite like that. I could get another one actually for my mum, maybe, for when she goes to work. So that's all I got from the tapestry itself. And when I went back, when I actually made my way to the venue, the volunteer hall for the show itself, I had just enough time to do like one lap of the show to see what was there and maybe sort out a small shopping list for when I went back on the Saturday. But I saw a stall, I think, what is the name of the stall? Chockflock or something? I'll double check, but they had a dragon shawl pin on their stand, and I spoke to the lady that was vending, and she said she didn't have any of the dragons, but she did have turtles. And I said, well, in that case I'll have a turtle, because I now have 2 tortoises. So I picked up a little shawl pin with a turtle. because the one that I currently have is quite large and I wanted a smaller one. So that's going to be put to use pretty much straight away. I've got a new shawl that I'm going to show on the podcast that I have recently finished, and that will go nicely with that. So that's what I picked up on the Friday. And the rest of this bag is filled with stuff that I bought on Saturday. So let's dive right in. Now, I'm not going to go through them in the order I bought them because I think they're all jumbled up in here anyway, and I've got bits inside of other bits. So I'm just going to pull it out from the bag and go from there. So first up is a skein of yarn from the Wool Chemist, who is Rennie. And this one is called Athens of the North. Now, the story behind this yarn, or this colourway, is when Rennie got to Edinburgh Waverley Station and came out of the station itself and saw the sky, and this was the colours of the sky on that day. And someone commented saying it was Athens of the North. So that is this colourway, and it is gold sparkle, and it is super, super pretty. So this is gold sparkle sock 4-ply, 80% superwash merino, 15% nylon and 5% gold stellina. So 400 meters per 100 grams. It's so pretty. Yeah, I'm looking forward to finding a project for that. I think it needs to be on its own. It's going to be super nice. So there's that one. I do have more from the Wool Chemist as well, but I don't know if they are easy to grab. Probably not. I have one. Here's one. So this is Mechanical Flow. This is this year's colourway for the show, based on the mural that is in Galashiels. And these are all the solids. So I have 5 minis. These are deluxe sock 4-ply. They are 85% superwash merino and 15% nylon. 5 times 80 meters, and they are 20 grams each. And they are super squishy. But I just thought they would be really nice together on their own, in their own project. So I have 5 to stripe with for a project. And I also have this year's colourway in its own skein, which is this one. And it is a signed pooling as well. So all the yellow can be used to create an assigned pooling project. Now, my friend P is currently knitting a project up. And I am looking to try and do a crochet project with it possibly. So again, it is called Mechanical Flow. It is Tangled 25 Show Special, and I have it on the 100% superwash merino base. So it is 400 meters per 100 grams because it is 4-ply. I seem to be buying a lot of 4-ply recently. So I'm not going to put these two together. They are 2 different bases. They're both superwash merino, but this one is 100% and this one is 85-15. So this will be its own project and this will be its own project, but I couldn't resist picking them up. So I have both. So that's what I got from the Wool Chemist. And actually my last stop for the day was the Scout haul, which had the fleece market in there, and that was being showcased by Birkhill House, which is a not-for-profit organisation near Earlston in the Scottish borders, and they offer various different activities with alpacas, goats, hens, ragdoll cats and other animals. They also have a crafting with a focus on fibre processing and upcycled or reclaimed materials, and then there are gardening opportunities as well. So something to do if you are ever wanting to visit the Scottish borders. I've heard of them before, and yeah, I thought I would pick up a few bits. They did have some yarn from My Mama Knits, so I picked up a couple of bits from there, and this is Sunshine. Sunshine Stewart is the name of the dyer behind my Mama Knits. So this one is a burly merino. It is a chunky yarn. It's 100% superwash merino. It just says single batch 342, but I quite like the colours in this. I actually picked up 2 of these because I couldn't decide which one I preferred, and I spoke to P about it, explained what I wanted to do, and she picked this one for me. So I have this one, and it's just got all different colours in it. There's purple, orange, lots of greens. I like this green here. And it just reminded me of like a flower garden. So yeah, I picked that one up. I'm thinking a hat. I also picked up some minis because I love the minis. These are 10 grams. There are 12 of them. And it is a full rainbow. It is called Ultraviolet Mini Skein Half Pack. So I wonder if they are UV reactive, because it says ultraviolet. So I don't know, but they do all have names on them. So for example, this one here, the second purple one, says Space Grapes. This one is Carrot Sticks. This orange. The one on the end is Ice Queen. So they all have names, which would be quite fun to work through. Not sure what project I'll go in, but I think maybe if I can find a black, they might be quite nice in a stripy project as well. And I also picked up 3 mystery mini skeins. They are lucky dip bags. Now, I picked them up with the intention of getting one for me, one for P, and one for my friend Ali. And then I forgot to give one to P. So I'm going to need to open up one of these, or pick one for me. And then P said she'll get hers the next time I see her. And I will send one down to Ali as well. So I don't know what they are. It just says lucky dip bag. And they are 20 gram minis. So yeah, I'm not going to open them yet because that's going to be a little surprise for us to have for the 3 of us. And I picked up from Birkhill House itself. It is a recycled product. It's in that weird compostable plastic. So it's quite noisy. But it is a sheep pebble. So you get a piece of fabric, some yarn to embroider on, and then I believe this fibre is to fill it, and it becomes like a little stone with a sheepy design on. So that's going to be really fun to work up. I'm going to enjoy having a go at that, and maybe I'll make more in the future if it goes well. What else do we have? Now, we may remember that the first time I went to Tangled, which I think was their first year. Yeah, I think it was the first year. That was 2023. I picked up some alpaca rose from the border mill. And I still have those 3 skeins that I bought. They're 50 gram skeins. And I've decided I want to put them all into a project together. But I only have 3. So I picked up a few more colours to go with them. So I think the ones that I have are a pink, a blue and a gold. So I've got a nice reddish tone, a grey, oatmeal and a purple. And I thought they would all go quite nicely together. This one's called Fire Opal. Then we have Onyx. We have Electrum. And then this one just says Special Edition. This one doesn't have a name. Yeah. So I have 4 more colours to go with my other 3 alpaca rose, because it is 50% alpaca and 50% rose fibre. So I wasn't sure what else to put with it, but I figured if I got more of the same, then I should be okay putting them all together. and finding a nice project for them. So yeah, for 50-gram minis from the Border Mill. And the lovely Lisa and, is it Jen or Jenny? I think it's Jen, from For the Love of Yarn were also there. And I already have a skein of Tunnock's tea cakes, but I don't have a skein of Iron Brew until now. So I picked up Iron Brew, or it's just called Brew, B-R-U, in the DK, because I think I have the tea cake one in the DK. I thought I'd picked up 4-ply. Doesn't matter. Anyway, so I have this one, and yeah, my husband quite likes the Iron Brew. So I have that, and I do have a mini as well, which is 4-ply, which I thought was quite sweet just on its own. It looks so different in the mini skeined up compared to the big skein. And finally I picked up the Edinburgh Doodle card deck, which has 13 doodle chart cards in it, which I will put with the rest of my doodle collection. It's got Nessie in it and the Highland Cruise. Yeah, I meant to pick these up at Woolly Good in Edinburgh, and I completely forgot to get them from Cookston Crafts, so I thought I'd pick them up from Lisa. I'm still going. I picked, the first thing that I actually bought when I went in on the Saturday is a bag. Now, I know every time I go, I always say I don't need any more project bags. And that is completely true. I don't need any more project bags, but I always come away with one. And this one, I could not resist because it is Harris tweed on the bottom. It's like a purpley pinky colour. It's got a lovely button here. And it's got Highland Cruise and thistles on the fabric. And it's even got pretty fabric inside. So it's got more thistles on side and some bumblebees. And it's got Harris tweed label because it has Harris tweed fabric. It's a posh bag. So yes, I have a really lovely project bag. I can't remember who that was by, but I will put all the details down below in the description box if you want to head over and check out these companies. And I did take some photos of this stall as well, so that will, you will have seen that already. Then I have, oh, here it is it this one? Well, yes, Wildwood Stitches, there we go. So that's Harriet, my lovely new bag. I'm going to pop that in there so I don't forget. Okay, I then was wandering around. I was looking for different patterns and things like that, and I picked up 2 patterns actually. 3 patterns. What's in this bag? So this one is based on the mural as well. So I will have put a picture up of the mural at some point. So this is a beanie and mitts pattern. It uses all the colours that are in the mural. And actually I thought maybe I would be able to use the minis, these, to maybe make the mittens or the hat. It is a colourwork project. It is knit. I have not knit a colourwork project yet. So this will be fun. But I saw the mitts on the stand. But the yarn they had was quite rustic. I think it was the Wee County yarn, which is a bit too rough for me. But having bought those minis, I thought they would look quite good in this. I need to get a cream to go with it, and then I'll be sorted. So, yep, I picked that up. That is from Pixie Lou Felt. The lovely pattern. Losing my words today. And I'm trying to find somewhere to put it. There we go. And I also picked up a sock pattern, which is from Stone Knits. And I bought the yarn from Lucy Lockett Land. So this came together. So Lucy Lockett had the patterns on her store, so I have the yarn to go with it. So I have 2 red, 1 cream and the green for the main colour. Now she did mention that in the pattern itself it says to have a different colour for the heel and the toe, but she's included an extra red to do that, which I quite like. I prefer the red, I think. But these are going to be really cute socks. So I think once I finished one sock, I need to make some colour work mushroom socks. So that's going to be super fun. And I will come back to Lucy Lockett Land in a minute, because I do have another purchase from them as well. But I want to save that till the end. I picked up another copy of the Wee Sheepy cushion from Midge Porter Design. I did buy this pattern at the Scottish Yarn Festival show, which used to be called Perth Yarn Festival or something. But as I was speaking to her, she said that she's changed the pattern slightly, so she gave me another copy so that I can refer to this one and not the old one. So I need to find the old one and make a note that this one's been corrected. And I also picked up some buttons. So these are from Julia Cunningham. And they are in woven fabric. So they're handmade buttons. And I've got all different pink colours. So this one is a Harris tweed, the all pink. And then these two are actually from the same fabric, just different sections, but they have pink, yellow, and this one's got like a bluey green in it as well. So I thought they would be quite good to put on some projects or some project bags, maybe. So that is pretty much everything that I bought, except the piece de resistance. And I really should not have bought it, but I could not resist it. I did take a picture whilst they were on the stand, and it was the last thing I bought on the day, because I went back to the stand just before closing and was like, I need to get that because it is the cutest thing ever. It's a little mushroom basket. And if I undo here, there's a button, like a little loop and button, loop and bead, and it opens up, and I have some minis in here as well. So these are Lucy Lockett Land's Galashiels 2025 colours, 6 20-gram minis, and they are rainbow nep, and there are 6. So they're going to make a nice stripy project as well. They might make just a litmus cowl on their own, because yeah, I think they're quite nice to be on their own. So that is my little my little basket. It's just the cutest thing ever. And I seem to have a thing at the moment for mushrooms, so I couldn't resist picking up a little mushroom house to bring home as well. And it even has a door, and the door does open, so you can use it like a little yarn bowl. But isn't it cute? So that is everything I bought at the show, and I think I have one more thing to show you. And it is something that I made, but I think it's in my backpack downstairs. So I'm going to quickly pause and I'll be right back. Well, that took longer than I expected. I thought it was in my backpack, so I emptied my backpack. Couldn't find it. Came back up here, emptied the bag. that I have here. Couldn't find it. I was sitting there thinking, definitely had it. So I checked my bedroom, maybe I put it on display in there. Nope, not there. Went back downstairs thinking maybe I've put it on display downstairs, because I'm pretty sure I showed Ralph when I got home. Lo and behold, it was on the bookshelf. So I did some weaving. So this is recycled fabrics. I have some tweed in the red on either side. Then I've got some pink, and I have this ribbon with a nice gold check pattern on the centre. And then going the other direction, I have a blue and a purple, which are quite straggly at the ends, but I quite liked that sort of texture. So you weave them all together, and then you can go over the top. You have to put like a piece of calico on the back in between, and then you just stitch in a design. So I just did some yellow crosses to pick out the yellow in that middle section. I quite like it. It's not showing up very well because of the light in here. So it is a little greetings card. So it's going to go back on display downstairs. And I really enjoyed myself. So I spent a good few minutes just being mindful of what I was doing as opposed to what was going on around me. There was a walk-in demonstration going on at the same time as well, which is a process they use for relaxing the fibres in a woven piece of fabric. So when weaving fabric, it can be quite stiff. So they have to get sort of, I don't know how to explain it really, but it's walking, W-A-U-L-K-I-N-G. And they have songs and things that they use as their rhythm, so that they can all work together to loosen up the fibres of a woven piece of fabric. So I sat and did my own little weaving at the same time. So that is everything that I have for you from my visit to Tangled this year in Galashiels. I had a really lovely time. It was actually good weather and I was very warm. P had told me to bring a mixture of different clothing because the weather was going to be unpredictable. I took that to mean it might rain, it would be cold, maybe windy, and so I wore jeggings, my t-shirt, and had this cardigan. It was really hot on Friday. I was dripping with sweat whilst walking around the tapestry on the Friday, and did not see rain on Friday. I stayed in a lovely hotel called the Glen Hotel, but on booking.com it came up as the Glen Guest House. They're one and the same, and I had a really lovely night there. I don't sleep well when I'm away from home, but I did get some sleep. I didn't feel very productive though. I had planned to do some crochet or some knitting before I went to bed. Didn't do anything. So I did go out for a meal with P on Friday night, just to the local Weatherspoons, and we had a really nice meal, and then I went back to my hotel. So I then, on the Saturday, I had a different pair of trousers, which were slightly cooler than my check-ins. And I only saw the sunshine on the Saturday, but apparently it was raining on and off throughout the day. But I think I was indoors for most of that, so it didn't matter to me. Anyway, I had a lovely weekend. I keep calling it a weekend, it's 2 days, but it's not on the weekend itself. It doesn't run Saturday, Sunday, it runs Friday, Saturday. So, yep, I had a lovely, lovely time, and looking forward to the next one. So if you have enjoyed seeing any of the bits and bobs that I've shown today and having a look at the festival itself, do hit the like and subscribe button so that you get to see more. And as I mentioned before, I will put details of the vendors that I got my bits and pieces from, as well as a link to the website. So if you wanted to see who else was there, then you can go over and do that as well. So thank you for joining me on this little trip to Galashiels, and I will see you all in the next one. Take care. Bye.